So let me give you a little bit of a context, or let me actually help you with what is that we are really going to do in these 6 sessions. The first session, as I said, will be all setting the context and doing more of the helping you to understand what is analytics as well as HR analytics, and helping you with some of the use cases, and then helping you with also defining from where can you get data, sources of data, understanding some, you know, types of data, sampling, and also to help you understand some of the statistical analysis in terms of when you look at employee data, what is that you do, how can you get to know about that data, the feel and look of data, etc. So that will be your first session. So session 2 will be how do you link uh, HR with the business. So how do you understand that? So how do you understand strategy? Then how will you align HR metrics or key metrics to what the business goals are, to ensure that there is a significant impact. And the third and the fourth session will revolve around predictive analytics, which is a huge amount of content and a lot of tools and techniques we talk about. So how do we really predict? Say, for example, is it sufficient for getting into just reporting, or I'm doing a number of training programs, I'm doing a lot of leadership programs? Then is that the end of all? Do I measure it just by the number of leadership programs? Or ultimately, am I going to look at, hey, what is the lag indicator? So what is the outcome the organization is going to receive? How many leaders have these people who have been trained in leaders, have they nurtured leadership? Okay, so the essence of understanding what are lead indicators, what are lag indicators, then how do you actually then identify those key lead indicators and lag indicators. So that's going to become very, very important when you're going to do predictive analytics. Like, say, for example, in predictive analytics, you can also quantify in terms of if I am going to increase the training period by 1 hour, what is the outcome? You know, predictive. So we can actually understand the correlation, and then with the regression analysis, we can actually predict a lot of things. So that's what it is about. And in the last 2 sections, you will be having data visualization, Power BI, how to use a Tableau, etc., which will again help you when you go back to make, you know, very powerful presentation, killer presentations, which can be interactive and which will be really focusing on the highlights, not anything and everything, capture everything. So how do you go about making very good interactive dashboards? Okay, so that's it. Any other questions? Anything you want to add, guys? Okay. Um, Having said that, now how many of you kind of know about a movie called Moneyball? Have you heard of this movie, Moneyball?
No.
Anybody, Moneyball? Huh? Okay. Have you at least heard of this? Some of you who are using analytics, have you heard of this? This, it's not a story, it's a real thing which has happened, being used, sabermatics, analytics being used in the sports. Are you at least aware of how sports uses a lot of data analytics? Okay, so let me just quick this is a very interesting. It's not a story. It's become a movie. I want all of you to watch this movie. Where, in fact, this my popular guy Brad Pitt acts. Okay, so it's all about um, it's all about a problem, in the sense, here there is this, just like the cricket teams, there is this Oakland Athletics baseball team. Okay, Oakland's athletic baseball team. Now they want to play a winning game. That means they want to win with the other teams. Okay. Now, but just like any recruitment team, somebody said, Devashri said she's into recruitment. Always recruitment says, hey, whenever the business says, I want people, this person who's actually very good says, but we don't have that kind of money. He's asking for a very high salary. So they're always limited with this budget, recruitment budgets, salary budgets, right? So just like that, the Oakland Athletics baseball team had a constraint of what budgets. Now, typically what happens, just like, IPL, I don't know how many of you have to actually, when you buy players, the traditional way of buying players is that, oh, because he's a great player, he's been winning. So you got to really spend a lot. It's just like you say, hey, I want to hire somebody from Google. Say if you're an IT company, then what happens? Tell me anybody. When you want to hire somebody from Google, for a particular position. And huh?
I
Yeah,
mean,
anybody.
we also have to
Uh,
see the culture fit and all,
culture
probably,
fit.
and
So
it's just not
absolutely.
taking or giving the amount, probably. Obviously, the budget is one aspect, but
So
the fit,
budget becomes a very key constraint.
yeah, it
Budget
is a key
becomes a
constraint.
very key constraint, right? Budget. So definitely. So here in this Oakland Athletics team, if they wanted to buy very good players, they had to actually shell out a lot of money. Now, here comes an intern who's done analytics program from Harvard, and he says, "Hey, I can actually help you through my analytics, collecting data, and through my analytics, build up a great team, and we really don't have to shell out that kind of a money. Okay, and we can make winning teams. Maybe not in the first year, but let me tell you, the outcome was when they used different kind of what processes and the same data, but they were collecting different, they were tracking different metrics like the batting, the average strokes, etc. And they were able to actually, maybe not in the first year, but thereafter they were able to win a lot of games. Now, in short, what I'm trying to actually convey is that yes, gone are the days where you can make a decision, like typical in a recruitment, maybe still in the traditional way, a lot of senior managers will go by the gut feeling. But gone are the ways where you could hire people by just gut feeling. You need to go by data, right? So we will actually look at, so here the challenge is, hey, how can you disrupt the traditional way of making a decision and using data analytics, how can you create a win-win situation? What it is? That by disrupting a traditional way. So therefore, when you actually go back, you will say, hey, let us collect data and let us actually look at whether this is viable. We can validate. And will you agree that we can make better decisions when we collect data, analyze, as opposed to just looking at a CV, 10 CVs, and looking at somebody who's, oh, education qualification is great. He's come from a very good pedigree. And then let us take him. Okay. So gone are the days now. So today we definitely have what? A sound decision making. As we say, connecting the dots. How can you connect the dots? By collecting data of those dots. And only then you can make a sound decision making. So ultimately, what is it HR analytics about? It helps you to make what? Very effective decisions. That is it. It helps you to analyze, then interpret, and then see, hey, how can we make better decisions, whether it is question of cost or productivity or performance, etc. etc. But how they have been using analytics to increase whether it's their performance or productivity, etc. I don't know how many of you know um, Best Buy. Best Buy is a very big electronic chain of shops in US. They primarily sell electronic goods. Okay. And even Starbucks. What they have through their data analysis, collecting data, they have proved that if 0.1% of the employee engagement index or the employee satisfaction index goes up, what happens? Lag indicator, there is an increase of annual operating income. Top line increases by $100,000 established. It is not a gut feeling that by doing a lot of engagement, I can increase something. No, they have actually collected a lot of data and saw that if my employees are happy, delighted, engaged, which I do through data, that is through the surveys of employee engagement, by 0.1%, 0.1%, there is a substantial and not just vague, around $100,000 increase. Okay. Now, typically, what are our ways of recruiting? Whether it, typically, traditionally, I recall the time I come from the old world of school where, okay, where is this person from? Where did he study? Educational background? Was he from the premium? Did he top everywhere? Okay, excellent ability to speak English, etc. At Google, AT&T, they found through their what? Data analysis, through study analyzing their recruitment methods, hiring practices, that if if the candidate had the ability to demonstrate that initiativeness or the innovativeness, he was actually very good on the job. That means he performed very well. What did they do? They took the data of all these people who performed on the job, and then they looked at their hiring scores with the way the innovation and the initiative, and they correlated data, and then they could actually predict that yes, if we take people with these key competencies, definitely I can predict higher performance. It is not high IQ is going to predict performance. No. So, in fact, in today's most of the contemporary, even if it is startup, they have realized that we need to identify what are those key competencies which are effective for the performance. Every role, right? If those are not there, like say, for example, I'm hiring today, these days, wellness, and everything is there. So, a counselor. So, I have received, say, for example, 10 CVs. Okay. Some of them PhDs in counseling, all right, passed out from fantastic Harvard, Ivy colleges. There are also some CVs which have demonstrated empathy, but definitely not having passed out or having PhD, just graduates. Who do you think will be really very good in their, job, effective in their job of counseling? Anybody, guys, please. I want it to be highly interactive and participative so that you are able to understand. Who do you think? I gave you a set of people who some of them were PhDs in counseling, okay? And some of them had excellent skills or competency in empathy, but necessarily not from the best of colleges. Who do you think will do better if I hire?
The one who showed empathy, probably.
Yes, Preeti. Absolutely. I'm sure all of you know about uh, McClelland, the father of what? The father of the competency. He is the one who pioneered the entire competency framework and competency management. And what did he say? It is not what that if people have very high IQs or they have passed from the best of colleges, etc., the pedigree. That is not going to actually what impact, or they are not able to demonstrate high performance. It is that exclusive competency which is required, effective for that role, which will actually reflect in high performance. And that is why, if you notice, the currency of competency management has come up in most of the organization, and they have started saying, hey, we have to look at those 3 or 4 competencies which are very effective and core for the role. And if they are not there, then they will not be effective in their performance, right? Okay. Yeah. Going forward, I'm sure not only Sprint, there are many organizations in the IT and ITS. What? See, everybody wants to keep their what? Attrition percentage low. Why? Why do you think you want to have your attrition at least benchmark marked with the market? You'll say, hey, we should keep it low in general. So I'm not talking about a particular, in general, your attrition at a company-wide attrition to be low. Why do you think so? I'll ask Ramachandran. Why do you think attrition should be low, Ramachandran? Generally, every HR head says, what is our today
The
percentage?
hiring
How
cost
is it?
again, the
Huh?
company out to hiring cost will increase and training again it
Spot
will be.
on. Because if my attrition costs are very high, what happens? That doesn't mean it doesn't stop. I have to rehire. So that means recruitment cost increasing. Then I have to train them.
Productivity
That means again training costs as well. Again productivity, because till the time they have
drops.
come up
Yeah.
to the bar, again there is a loss of productivity. So that means cost, performance, productivity. So I am paying, my wage cost is high, but so therefore, what if Preeti gets to know as a head HR saying that, hey, these are the people who are going to leave the organization, especially the high performers, high pots, then do you think that will be really good for you?
Yeah, I mean, you can take corrective steps well before time.
Yes. You will be ensuring you'll take some retention
Retention
strategy,
practices, yeah,
right?
or we can
So
plan for.
therefore, most of the organizations, they have something called the early warning system. EWS. So every month, the HR business partners, they have the early warning system where they have yellow, what else? Gray and red, right? So there are key indicators. What are some of the indicators? Just to give you all a feel. When do you get to know that this guy, your high performer, who's really doing very well, he's about to leave? What are some of the indicators?
Maybe
Rahul.
disengaged,
Rahul has been very quiet. Huh? Huh?
absenteeism,
Disengaged.
or disengaged.
Fees,
Spot
even
on.
his performance.
Absenteeism is something you can see. Disengaged indirectly will impact the productivity or
Product.
performance, because you will say, hey, this guy was a high performer. Suddenly, what's happening? He's losing interest. Huh? Too many breaks, too many those cigarette breaks or whatever. Huh? And too much on on the social media. Huh? Too much on the LinkedIn. Huh? So so there are certain key indicators. So every organization has actually done an early warning system, especially ITS, because you can't really have your attrition for the high pots. So you can have a very good retention strategy. In fact, even Oracle, they also have this for their top performers. They identify who are likely to leave, because you can't afford to have your top performers leaving the organization. So what if you get to know, you can actually help them, you can do the job sculpting, you can call them, you can say, hey, this is what we have, etc., etc. Okay. So likewise, well, there are in fact today many organizations who are using um, analytics. Is not something which it's it's now there. Every organization has realized that we cannot afford to make a decision just out of gut. We have to look at data, and we have to ensure that we become strategic in nature, and that's how we can make a significant impact. Otherwise, like for example, you know we'll be still questioning my first slide. of saying that, finance has something to show, something to talk about in hard numbers, saying, hey, this much I've done, this much is my EVA, this much is my EBITDA. Then the marketing will come back and say, hey, new products, so much I've increased the market share. I have done so much new customers, customer satisfaction, etc. And the manufacturing guy, of course, he'll say, see, my productivity has gone up so much, quality, efficiency, just in time. But what have we? Human resource. So the time has come now to actually look at data and start becoming, not just in terms of, people related, high on relationship, but low on task. We can't afford to be that. We can't be something like a popular person. No. Now we need to really show them that, hey, yes, because business is asking, is saying, hey, how can HR become very, very strategic? Because now, if you actually step back and see that there was a time when all market capitalization evaluation was more on what tangible assets, land, money, etc. But today it is valued on what? Human capital. It's the human capital which is very, very critical. So, how do you manage your talent? How do you develop your talent? How do you then do this? We'll talk about it. Human capital readiness. And unless and until through analysis we identify. Say, for example, the business comes and says, hey, I want this number of this kind of competencies, a new project is coming. How would you know? Are you ready for it? Do you have those competencies readily available, or do you need to get them, or do you have a talent pipeline? Or say, for example, 80% of your workforce, you are using certain skill sets, and every time you are actually buying from the market. How will you reduce your cost? Do you have a talent pipeline? Do you actually do some kind of a backward integration in building your talent? So these are some of the things you can do, work on them, and of course, and on and on. So let's start looking at them. I wanted to actually make you understand, get into this, act of, hey, analyzing and how data is very, very relevant. So needless to say, I just want to check on you all. Hey, in when we look at other functions or other businesses, so other than HR, in fact, it started off with what? Finance. It started off with logistics. How logistics, finance, marketing, how they use analytics. I'm sure all of you are aware of the marketing function. They use analytics in a big way for customer segmentation, understanding customers, then customer satisfaction indexes, all that. And then sales forecasting. So that's where it started, analytics. Now we actually have done the HR planning through forecasting, right? Workforce planning, etc. And even supply chain, logistics, the way they use analytics in terms of because cost efficiencies, ultimately operational efficiencies, you can only get them by using all the analytics. Because yesterday was not in the industrialized, we'll look at that, how it evolved. Today data is huge. The big data, when we say it is trillions of data, think about Amazon or Walmart, how much of data they must be getting, right? But ensuring the product is there, ensuring there is customer satisfaction, you can think of what kind of analytics is being used. Think of Amazon. What is their vision statement? Can anybody tell me what is their vision statement? All of you use Amazon. 10 o'clock. Whenever you think of something, okay, chalo, order kar lo. Just quickly order it. That's what we are all. Think of Amazon. The moment you order, it comes off.
Customer centricity, maybe something more
So customer centricity. So anything, anywhere, anytime. You agree? Anything, anywhere, anytime. Now think of that. You think of something, even if it is a pin or anything very big, when you order for it, it comes off within a particular time, one day maybe. So there is some kind of a time loss. But ensuring that, so think of the kind of analytics they must be using for their logistics, distribution to be so effective, for their process to be operational, processes to be so effective. Okay. So having said that, now let us come to HR. So when we talk about HR, so typically some of you have stated that we do, like say Preeti was mentioning about, we do some kind of analytics. Okay. So what are some of the analytics you collect? Anybody? It is not just asking, they were anybody. Yes. Yogesh. Yeah, anybody. You've been very quiet. What are some of the analytics you, let me just go to a,
So attrition is one.
use.
Overtime and productivity is something that we look into. Absenteeism is something that we delve into why and what,
Yeah.
and
So,
skill competency as an engagement. When we do
okay.
surveys, then
So
the
somebody said
engagement
we collect attrition data. Okay. I'm
attrition,
just
uh,
okay.
turnaround time for recruitment, yield ratio.
Okay. Then attrition. Then you're talking about turnaround time.
Then
Okay.
attrition for top performers, hypots, or rather in recruitment, it is also the first year attrition.
Okay. So when you're talking about attrition, you are saying you are capturing, um, tenure wise.
Yeah. Tenure wise and
Saying
performance.
that, especially the
Performance.
first years after probation,
Yeah,
6 months, because that matters a lot. So,
Yes, we
okay.
call it infant attrition.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely, which becomes very important. Yeah. Okay.
And also the reasons behind the top attrition, the top reasons
Yes,
behind the
Divya.
attrition. So even the top reasons behind the attrition in the percentage of, you can say the top reasons, top 3 reasons behind the attrition, even that get
Okay.
captured.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. That covers attrition because we will
regrettable.
be doing
Which are
all
the regrettable
functions.
ones?
And
Regrettable
Okay. So,
attrition.
so now
and
you are talking about attrition, voluntary, involuntary
yes,
attrition,
type of
etc.
attrition,
Okay.
as I had
We'll
not.
talk about it. All right. Then,
Then
so we will just take one key metric. Say, for example, okay, we'll just take, for example, because everybody is familiar with recruitment,
yeah.
Offer to hire
Mhm.
is
huh? Recruitment. Okay. So in recruitment, so typically it's a very broad function, right? So essentially to understand this function, what is that we do? If we have to really look at a flow, the process flow, we are getting requisition, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Requisition. And then thereafter, what happens? We have to do the,
Selection process, sourcing and selection process.
okay,
Sourcing.
sourcing.
Mhm.
Then we do
Screening.
screening,
Shortlisting.
right? You agree?
Mm.
Then I will do selecting and interviewing, right? Huh? Then closing offer,
Offer.
which I'm including, say, for example, even the negotiation of salary, etc. Offer, huh? Till joining. Okay. The
Yeah.
entire process. Onboarding becomes different. So, but at least till the joining. Now, that means there are, so entire process has so many
Stages.
data points.
Yeah.
There are so many data points. One data point is when you receive a requisition, one data point is major. Sourcing. No? How many resumes are you receiving from different
Channels.
channels? It could be internal through referral, it could be portals, it could be job sites, it could be what is it? Walk-ins.
References.
Huh?
Yes.
So multi-channels, huh? What do you typically do when you receive this? If you were to analyze how robust is my sourcing, or
Channel.
huh, how
How effective
effective
is my
is my
channel?
sourcing, how
Yeah.
effective is my sourcing from different channels, what is that you will do?
How much of them is moving to, like from whatever channels I've received, how much is moving to the next stage, or how much is
So
how much
you
I'm
will
able to
capture,
turn?
you will analyze
Yield ratio, yeah.
yield ratio, right? That means how much of this feed, sir, it's like a funnel. How much of this feed is going to the next step of maybe screening? So that depends on, yes, this is a right yield. Say, for example, your yield is really 1%, 2%, 3%. What will it reflect?
The channel is not effective.
Talent is not effective. So therefore, what will you do? I'm just doing hypothetical, trying to actually
Then
ignite your minds before I start getting into things. So what will you do? You
I'll
will
change
start
my
looking at,
approach, different channel or different means
okay.
of
So
sourcing.
Preeti says she will look at if the yield is low, different sources, right?
Or
You will
focus
look
on
at
the
different
source that
sources.
is actually giving
Yes.
me much more yield.
Yeah. So we'll focus on
Okay.
the sources which is giving more relevant,
Okay.
sources.
Channels which are giving me, okay, one better yield. All right. Then let me get from some more responses from Yogesh. What will you do?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, okay. There was some issue with my microphone. Yeah,
No
so
problem.
so I will, there are different stages, so that you already have covered.
No, we'll only look at the stage. Don't get, yeah.
Yeah. So
Now let me tell you. So I want to now train your mind. So sometimes what happens, what is analytics? Collecting data, right? From
yeah,
different sources and in a systematic way, quantifying it. Yes, I will get, like for example, I will get, and I've got this, and I'll be continuing. But probably sometimes I also need to look at, hey, next step and say, is the job description right? Like from the requisition. Many a times what happens, have you noticed? Because among the practitioners hat also, the business manager is not interested, he'll put some JD and give it. But is it really apt? Is it really, does it cover everything that you are not actually getting the right yield? Maybe when you look at it and make it a really very punchy and saying that actually what is desirable, what is really essential, and ensure. For example, most of you have worked in IT, yes. I will send out a recruitment ad saying that I want a graduate, okay, and this is the salary, 15,000 is the salary, and for a healthcare. Now, what will happen? I will receive what a number of CVs from graduates, etc. Now, hey, this job is a night job. So when he goes through the entire process, or even I'll say, hey, but when, even at this, but this is night, so he can't really work. Or probably I need a BCom person, but I'm receiving all graduates. So what happens very, very important is trying to actually understand. What am I trying to tell you here? Just like the money ball, can we connect it? Understand the problem first of all. Very often, because we are in the stuck in, oh, I have to do analytics, I have to collect data. Huh? So I get lost in this huge, Debashri said, I sit on a lot of data. Hey, don't mind Debashri, huh? Okay?
No,
Huh?
no, no.
So, okay. But what is very, very important is understanding the problem before you start collecting the data. That's what I was just trying to get at. Did you get me, guys?
Yeah.
Understanding the problem before you start collecting the data. That's very, very important. In fact, let me tell you, say, for example, Yogesh is an HR head and his R&D manager comes and says, ma'am, sir, we are having a lot of attrition. What? We are having a lot of attrition. We are losing our people. Now Yogesh says, attrition. Okay, fine. He has two people who are working in the analytics team. Hey, guys, let me get the data. What is the current attrition? And what is the going attrition in the market? Benchmarking it. Okay. And then he will write an email saying that, sir, see, your attrition is this, which is, much lower than compared to the market going attrition. But then the next day meeting, there'll be, the Yogesh is being called up, the higher up, senior vice president HR, and the director of that R&D also is there and says, we are losing all our high performers. How are we going to do work? So was the problem just at that attrition? No, I needed to look who are the people who are being, who are actually exiting, who are attrited, the high performers. What is the typical attrition of that? So when we do attrition, typically maybe, when I'm presenting a management committee meeting and I'm only saying, oh, our attrition rate is so much for attrition in finance. So I'm only giving a broad average figure. But when I want to really solve a problem, I need to go down, deep down, which target group, under which manager, under which vertical, what. So I have to go deep down and understand, is it because of compensation? Is it because of employee engagement? So there will be various things which are coming up. So what I meant is that when you are looking, when you're doing analytics, start with the problem. And the problem, don't look at it superficially, saying that, hey, I'm not getting number of CVs, I need to increase. So I need to just focus on channels or look at many more. But look deep down as to why is that you are not receiving. Maybe you're not receiving CVs because your salaries are less. Or maybe you are not receiving CVs because you are branded as a very poor company with bad culture. Maybe salaries are good. That's why, maybe there's already so much of attrition in the market. People are saying that, oh, this company, they may be paying, but they don't have good HR practices. There is no good employee engagement. Are you with me? Does it make sense now? So to think, so it doesn't mean when you talk about analytics as such, saying that, hey, so I can just go and do any kind of analytics and capture the data. So that's very, very important. Having said that, so typically what are you doing? You are identifying and quantifying all the data which you are getting from the people drivers. So what are those people drivers of business outcomes? It could be what? When I talk about people drivers, it could be from where does data come? Especially in I think I put it here. Okay. Where does data come from? Right from recruitment.
HRIS
One
systems,
second. Yeah, 1 second. Where is that?
ATS.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have data coming in from recruitment, performance management, compensation, demographics, L&D, etc. So HR is sitting on huge amount of data. You need to understand, hey, in the L&D, so I'm training people, I'm capturing, but is it increasing the competencies, right? How is my business? So my business keeps telling me, hey, people are not performing. But then Divya may be saying as an L&D manager, that I am sending people for all the time for trainings, but how is it they are not performing? So is there a correlation between the number of training programs they are going through and the increase of productivity? Or there is a business partner. Debashri is a HR business partner, and she says, I'm doing so many engagement activities, everything, and I'm getting a huge, my satisfaction index is really going up. But does it correlate with my performance and productivity? Or does it correlate with the absenteeism, etc., if I want to check some of them? You getting me? So therefore, when we talk about analytics, so we are talking about what? Quantification of all this data which comes and ensuring that it has a huge impact on the business outcomes. Having said that, I wanted to give you 2 more use cases. In call centers, typically, there's a huge attrition. You know that? Infant rate attrition is also very high. And in 1 to 2 years or 3 years also, there is attrition high. But well, in the past, in Sutherland, where I used to head the HR, we used to also capture under which TL the attrition is very high, under which TM the attrition is very high. Okay, that also becomes very important. And let me tell you, through analytics, they have actually found out that the quality of supervision impacts the attrition. So therefore, if you want people to stay for longer time, of course, you know that cliche, no? Managers don't leave, Why do they
People
leave
don't
the
leave the
organization?
company, they leave their
People don't,
managers. Bad
people, because for the bad managers. And it is a fact, because it is your immediate boss who actually coaches you or guides you, or at least ensures that, hey, he can have good mentoring coaching. So in today's times, like for example, Google, what do? They have actually, they have removed that control factor from the manager. And they said, hey, as a manager, you need to coach, you need to mentor, you need to supervise their activities, but you do not have the power to promote him or, to give him any kind of reward and compensations. Okay, of course, you can give him reward points for appreciation, etc. Why is it so? To ensure that people actually get coached, mentored, and there is better quality of supervision. So just to give you a quick definition of analytics, anybody? So can you tell me, after having told you the entire thing, uh, what do you understand? What could be analytics definition? Definition. What are the nuts and bolts in analytics? You're using a lot of data, and then through statistical models, what are you deriving? Insights, and then to help you in better decision making. So you have data here, then you are using statistical models, and you analyze, you get insights, and then you interpret, and then help you to better decision making. Okay. Now, having said that, there is also a maturity model to analytics. What does it mean? That yes, analytics is just not static. There is a maturity in that. So there is something like descriptive. When we talk about descriptive, what is it? Preeti was saying, we only, what is it? We do reporting as is, current, just stating what is it? What happened in the past? What is the attrition? What is the number of training programs we have done? Or what has been the exits? Similar. But when we talk about diagnostic, what does it mean? For example, I'll say number of, CVs received for channels. But when I talk about diagnostic, then we start analyzing what is the yield at every step. Ultimately, hey, how many people have actually offers and joined and come on board vis-a-vis the number of CVs received. So if the yield ratio is very, very bad, then what does it mean? It's impacting your cost. It is impacting your productivity because that much of time. And then again, you go back to again start hiring. So you're diagnosing. What is predictive? Prediction. You're predicting something, what can happen. So therefore, when you start looking at as is data, diagnose the data, then you can say, hey, if I train my people in Six Sigma for so many hours, I've actually diagnosed that it can impact my quality of the product. So I can predict that number of hours of training in quality will give me what? Better efficiency. So I can quantify. So predict. Are you with me? When I talk about predictive analytics, that means I can actually predict saying that, hey, if I do this, then this will be the outcome. When I say predict, it is directly related to what? Outcome. Say, for example, in compensation, what do I say? We will predict saying that, hey, if the worth of the job is so many points, I can predict through analysis, doing a regression, which we use regression analysis, saying that then I need to pay this job so much. So every 1 point is equal to so much of rupees. I can actually predict the outcome. So when I say outcome, I want to introduce one term. It's also called lag indicator. Can you just give me some examples of outcomes, whether it is in financial perspective or whether it is customer perspective, anything? Outcomes? Anybody? Revenue is an outcome.
Yeah,
right?
but lag.
Productivity is an outcome. Huh? You can't do anything about it, no? Outcome. Then what else?
Customer
Please tell me.
satisfaction.
Hmm?
Customer satisfaction.
Absolutely. Customer satisfaction, market share is an outcome.
Performance
Huh?
of employee. Performance of employee.
Performance, absolutely. Huh? Cost is an outcome. So reducing cost. So if you want to influence the outcome, you need to act on what? Say, for example, if I want to increase the yield, outcome is the yield in this case of more number of people joining. Okay. Say, for example, what should I do? At every step, I need to influence it with certain, after doing a diagnostic, maybe look at better channels, right? Ensure that, what is that, or ensure that when at a particular step where even after screening, I'm not getting people selected, that means am I actually tracking the right kind of competencies and interviewing them? So that is called what? Lead indicators. That means predicting. That means which have the ability to influence. Are you understanding the difference between lead and lag? Yeah. Anybody who can tell me what is the difference between a lead and a lag? Anybody?
Lag is the final indicator, as you have mentioned, that the overall organization profitability could be the lag. But you can see the more the short
Outcomes,
term
right?
process wise indicator, the some of
Yeah.
them you have
Yeah.
mentioned in terms of customer satisfaction, the
So
market share. These are the
absolutely. See, so outcome is something which we really can't do. But in order to make some improvement in the outcome, I need to look at lead indicator. Only lead indicators have the influence. So every process will have a lead and a lag. Right? So very clear, guys? Okay. There's a lot to do. So I'm going to now be a little faster. So I've already explained this. So this is just to give you, it's called descriptive, then diagnostic, then predictive. What is prescriptive? That means when you can predict, then you can prescribe. Hey, like for example, when you go to a doctor, there is already a prescription saying for, acidity prescription. What is it? You can take the stack, the tablet, and you will be better. Prescription. Likewise, when you do HR analytics and when you come up to this, so because of all that, you will say, hey, because I've done all the workforce planning, etc., I know that, I can prescribe. Say, for example, there's a new project which is coming in. I know exactly to deliver 20 people, it's going to take, with this kind of a skill set, it's going to take this much time. Prescription. I know exactly. Or for example, it can be used in workforce planning. It can be used in all the functions, prescriptive, but organizations have really not reached the stage because they are still here and here. Some of them are here, but I would recommend, having learned predictive now, which will be, you must learn to use at least in one or two of your problem areas so that you can show impact to your business. Okay. Yeah. Let's quickly go through all this. You can, analytics is also called human capital measurement, talent analytics, and strategic workforce. Okay. I'm not going through this. I already told you that it has an impact on cost, performance, and productivity, because I want to go through the nitty-gritties now. So evolution, it started with it. Has anybody heard of Frederick Taylor? Yes, all of you are HR people. Frederick Taylor, who is the father of the scientific management. He is the one who actually said, he started, evaluating, quantifying, and everything the workers did, the processes. And he was the one who started talking about the assembly line. In fact, Ford Motors was the one which actually looked into their processes, operation processes, and ensured that there was efficiency and measurement. So what in evolution of HR analytics, what we are trying to tell you is that, hey, it is not new. At every point of time, even before measurement was there, we were always analyzing work. And in the recent times, what do we do? In the recent times, it has been highly quantified through balance scorecard, HR scorecard. I'm sure all of you have heard about it, right? Balance scorecard is also measurement tool which links what you do with the business on 4 parameters, which we'll be learning tomorrow. Okay. Having said that, it's all about data. Let's look at, so I'll just quickly tell you, when we do this analytics, we need to identify a problem, collect data, clean the data, which is very, very important. Typically, your analyst will be doing, then analyze the data and interpret the results. Okay. Now, the best part is, how do you look at data? That is critical. You understand all this is theory, but how do you look at data and what do you do with data? So I need to understand, first of all, when I look at data, some kind of, what is the type of data? When I talk about type of data comes in what? When you look at an HRIS, it comes in a numerical, quantified data and qualitative data. So quantitative data is like what? Marks, right? Quantitative data is 2 types, discrete data and continuous data. When I talk about discrete data, it is what? It is all in terms of full number, size of a class, okay? Or say, for example, salary, all solid numbers. But when we talk about continuous data, it is like temperatures, it is like heights, etc. So typically when we use data, I need to understand, hey, what is this type of data? And when we talk about qualitative data, can we also use qualitative data in analytics? Yes. Yes, Ramachandran. Where
Yes,
can we
yes.
use quality? Tell me quickly.
Suppose the analysts we are doing attrition analysis, we can compare male, female, how it is different.
Absolutely.
Variable.
So that's called
Location,
nominal data. Name,
location
location,
wise,
name,
function wise.
etc. So one is
Function.
nominal data, the other is ordinal data. Best example of ordinal data is what? Your satisfaction index, which has a what? Agree, strongly agree, neutral, strongly disagree. So you can change that into what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or even in your appraisal sheet, what do you have? Outstanding, excellent, outstanding, good, average, poor, right? And then that you get translated into a 5-point scale or maybe a 4-point scale. So you translate that into what? Data. Okay. I won't take more time here. I'll just quickly ask you whether you are able to quantitative data. So height, weight, income, group size, etc. All this is quantitative data. Qualitative data, gender, religion, marital status, all this is qualitative data. Now, after understanding type of data, you also need to understand something called the mean, median, mode, some of the statistical data. Now, let me just show you an example and then probably you will understand better. What can you make out of this data? I know this is a employee data, right? Huh? What else? Anybody who hasn't really been active? Let me ask somebody now. You know, some people who are very quiet. Rahul. Rahul, what are the fields of data I can see here?
The hiring rate, salary, bonuses,
Overtime, department,
department.
sick days, performance score, tenure. Typically, this kind of a data you find in HRS. Can you make out anything of this data? Looking at this data, what can you make out? Huh? Other than data points, you really can't make out much, right? Just the areas, hiring data, okay, salary data. But to make some sense of the data, I need to use certain statistical analysis. The first and the foremost statistical analysis as an analyst, what I can use is, I hope all of you have downloaded this data analytics, huh? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Even I have downloaded. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So typically, what do I do then to get an understanding? Let me just check. I use something called data analytics tool, file, options, add-ins, then Excel add-ins. Okay. Then I can say go. Okay. Right. Then is it appearing? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You can see this data analysis toolpack. Now, to get an idea, sense of the data, the first thing I do is I can actually do something called what? Descript statistics. Now, so I need to, when you click on data analysis toolpack, then it opens up a window and then you can see descriptive statistics. Click on that. Okay. So another window opens up. So what you want? Input range. Input range. Now I want to look at, say for example, let me just bring this. Can I bring this here? Input range. I want to look at my performance scores data and see which is the highest, which we call it as what? Mode, right? The highest. The frequency of which one? Mean, median, mode. Mean is the average. Median is the midpoint, you can call it. And mode is that data point which appears in highest frequency and other things. So I'll explain to you each one of them. First, let us do this. Okay. I'm going to use only this. I'm not taking the label. So okay. Then enter. So the input range is come. Now label, since I have not taken the label, I leave it. Where do you want your output? Do you want it in a new worksheet or in the same? So since it's already crowded, I will say, okay, new worksheet. All right. And then I want the summary statistics. Confidence level is always 95%. Largest number and smallest number. And then I'll say, okay. So here I get what can you see? That field of what did we do? Performance score. I get some sense of the data saying, hey, the mean. What is mean? The average of the performance score is what? Of all those 50 people is 3.2. Okay. Mean, just give me a, today you don't even have to learn the formula. Just click of a button, you'll get to know. Mean, everybody, just give me a thumbs up. Mean, you know. Okay. Standard error. Typically, standard error you can delete. You can actually avoid looking at that. But let me tell you what is standard error. What is standard error? When you're doing research or analytics, when your data population is very big, you start taking sample of data. Sample is only a representative of data. Now, for every sample, you are going to get something called a standard deviation. All right. So standard error is nothing but it is the mean of all those samples of the standard deviation. So therefore, since here, why doesn't actually apply? Because you are using the entire data. So you can forget about it. Are you with me? Please. Okay. Median. What is it? Median is? Everybody knows median is the midpoint. So what is the median here? 3.
3.
Mode. What is mode? That score which appears the highest, the
20.
frequency. So mode, you know mode, how to do it. Don't have to learn the statistical formula of mode. You can do it at the click of a button. Standard deviation. Very important. Standard deviation. Anybody who can tell me what is standard deviation here? Why is it significant? Standard deviation
Variance
is a
from the
measure. Yeah, somebody is telling me. Tell me. Yeah,
The
somebody, I thought
variance
Divya
from
was.
the variance from the mean.
So it helps you to understand how dispersed is your data. That means the standard deviation helps you to understand the distance of what? The data from the mean. Are you with me? So if your standard deviation is very high, that means your data, your variance, or it is highly dispersed. If your standard deviation is low, that means your data is what? Clustered. Are you with me now? Please just give me a thumbs up if you have understood. If standard deviation is very high, that means it is spread. Huh? What happened? Can't see screen. Okay.
Ma'am, when you say high, what should be the value? Is it is it
I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to
okay?
that. But suddenly, I think somebody said Nishant Majan can't see the screen. I hope you can see the screen, all of you. That's one thing I want to check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody, Nishant, can you see the
Yes, yes.
screen?
I
Yes,
can't see.
Okay.
yes.
I think I'll log out and log in again. I mean, you are showing the Excel working, right, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. Are you able
Okay.
to see that Excel working? You want me to make it bigger? I can still make it bigger for you. Now?
I can't even see. Oh, I'll just log out and log in once again. I'll try that.
I think you need to, 1 second. It's too big. So, okay.
Now it is okay.
All right. Yeah. So standard deviation, I said that when it is high, that means your data is spread. It's spread wide. That means the distance between the mean and the data point is very high. If it is low, that means your data points are all cluttered. So what happens when you plot a normal curve? It becomes very steep. The skewness is more. So, and Yogesh asked me, what should be the number? Now, typically, this has no number. Like regression means 1, correlation means my +1 to -1. No,
Yeah.
this can be anywhere within those data points. Okay, so it shows depending on this the spread of your numbers, data points. There is nothing like a measure which will have. It will have depending on your data points, which we will be doing, and you can actually see then. Okay, now. You can forget about likewise variance and kurtosis because of samples. Kurtosis is nothing but the skewness, the bulge of the curve. So when we do plotting and when we do the curves, you will actually see all this. Skewness is the steepness. And range, what is range?
Is the difference between the highest and the lowest number?
Absolutely. If you have a data points, say for example, 10 is your least and say 90 is your maximum, minimum and maximum data points, data set. Your data points lie within 10 and 90. So what will be the range? 90 minus 10. Okay. And minimum, it is 1 and maximum, it is 5. So here the range is naturally 5 minus 1 because minimum minus maximum minus minimum, which is 4. So what I want you all to do, you have data, right? I'll just show you the slides with the reference to skewness, which will give you a good understanding. And then I want you all to do that data. I know all of you must be wondering, maybe you wanted a break, but 1 second, guys, please, bear with me. Mean, all of you know, I don't want to show you. Mean, everybody knows, right? Mean, median. Median, how do you calculate median? Typically, if you want to calculate median, so first of all, you need to arrange your data ascending or descending order. Then it is n plus 1 by 2.
By 2. For
Okay?
even an
N
order,
plus-
if it's in.
What is n? N is not it is just the count of the numbers. N is the count of items. N plus 1 by 2. But today you don't have to know about it because it's very easy. But then if you have something like, even say 81 and 85, it comes. So you have to add it up and then divide by 2. Then that becomes your midpoint or the median. As I said, range. Range is the difference between maximum and minimum. And I told you standard deviation, you don't have to know the statistical formula, but at the click of a button, you will get the standard deviation. You only have to know that this is a standard deviation is a measure which helps you to understand how dispersed is your data. That means your data from the mean. Now, correlation, etc., we would be doing later point of time, so I'm not getting into it. Now, say, for example, I told you skewness. What is skewness? That means your data can be positively skewed or negatively skewed. So when it is positively skewed, what happens? That means it's a big tail on the right side. So when it is an absolute bell curve or a normal curve, what happens then? Your mean, median, mode, all are equal. So when you fold that curve, it's almost symmetrical. But when it is skewed, then your mean, median, mode are different. Okay, so we will help you with the normal, how to do a normal distribution as well. So if you have noticed here, when it is absolutely a normal curve, this is called a bell curve. I'm sure everybody heard of a normal curve, especially during performance appraisal time. We will tell all the businesses, hey, you need to put all your, appraisal ratings in the normal distribution. You have to do the force fitting so that your mean, median, mode, when you plot them, it should be equal. So when you say a positive skew, what happens? There's a long tail. So your mean, your median, and mode are of different values. Likewise, here also the negative skewed. Okay. Yeah. Now I want you to let me
Ma'am,
find out 12. You
Uh,
want a quick break for 10 minutes before you start on an activity?
Yeah.
I will recommend you to look at your data first. Okay. Now, all of you have this. Let me share this. You have a descriptive analytics. You
Yeah.
have this data, right?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Now, I want you all to do descriptive statistics for sick days. Okay. This is an independent exercise. Sick days. I want you to do the for salary. Got it? So right now I'm just giving you two fields. One is sick days and the other is salary. Yeah, you can do, and then it should take just about 5 minutes. Then we can take a break. I'm sure all of you are waiting for a small break.
Yeah. Ma'am, we will discuss this positive skew and negative skew in detail, right?
Yeah, because I
Later.
don't want to load you with too much right at the
Yeah.
beginning. Huh?
Yeah. Got it. Got
Because
it. Got it.
you will do hands-on a lot of things. In fact, you will plot even a normal curve, skewed curve. So at that point of time,
Yeah. Got it.
you learn more. You're taking baby steps now.
Yeah. Sure.
Ma'am, sorry, I'm in office, so there's some distraction. I could not hear what I have the sheet ready available with me.
Is this Nishant or who is this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Nishant, tell me. I'm all ears for you. Yeah, tell
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Hmm.
What we have to do here,
Do you
6
have this
days.
data sheet, Nishant?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have this
I
data
have.
sheet? Okay. So just to give it a very short, essence of what I did for this. So typically you will find a lot of data in the HR, right? HRIS. You'll
Yes,
have
ma'am.
all these fields. You'll have data like employee, hiring data, salary, bonus. So sometimes when you look at data, you don't know what to do. You'll be overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay, HR, 6 days performance. But you want to make sense out of that data, right?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
So to get a sense out of the data, the first and the foremost thing basic you can apply is something called descriptive statistics using a
Yes,
data analytics tool. Okay.
yes.
Now, having said that, now there is this, I think I have already have it, data. Yeah. So can you see this data analytics here?
Yes, I have also installed that.
Downloaded, right? You have
Yes, ma'am.
downloaded that, huh?
Yes,
So when you just click at this, see, window opens and you can
yes,
see descriptive statistics. Got it?
yes, yes, ma'am.
Now you click on that, okay, and say, okay. There's another window opening which wants input range. Okay, where should I have this output? So what you need to do is, so you want to get a sense of the data. So I, as a activity, I asked you all, okay, look at sick days.
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
want, you can do even performance score and see how the data looks. So typically in descriptive statistics, you will get what is the mean, what is the median, what is the mode, how is your data spread. So what is the
Okay.
standard deviation? So you can do this. Okay.
Yes.
You want me to do, you can do
I'm
it
done.
easily.
So I have to, ma'am,
Huh?
select. You asked us to do sick days, so I'll select
Yeah.
the entire
I
column.
asked you to do 6 days and then I
Of
asked you to do
salary.
salary. Okay. And performance score if you want to do it again. None?
Okay.
Okay, Nishant? Yeah,
Yes,
you
miss.
can do one in fact.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Somebody said, yeah.
Yes, I'm done.
Who is this?
Debashri.
This. Okay, Devi. Just wait
Should
for a
I?
couple of minutes. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, in any case, I think we will break, but just give 2 minutes. Let the others also finish, huh? Then I will ask you only to show me then.
I have done it, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just wait for one more. Preeti is also done it, I think. Just give me a thumbs up here. All right. I won't force anybody, but I will actually stop sharing and I can have anybody, any of you who can showcase it. You can share it.
Okay. Let me share.
Should I share, ma'am?
Anybody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Let
can just drag it out so that
y-
you
yeah,
can
let me know if you can see my screen, ma'am. I have presented it.
make it little bigger
Yeah, I'm going
for
to
others.
zoom in.
Yeah. Done. Very good. So you want to talk about it? This is which field?
So this is for the sick days, and
Wonderful.
this is the mean. Uh,
Okay.
that is
So
there.
6.3. Typically, people, on an average, they take about 6.3 days, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the standard error, that is 0.3455.
Yeah. Okay. Median.
Median is 7. I'm confused
Okay.
about this
Midpoint.
median because how it arrived
Mm.
at this number, because I tried, at my end, so it was showing something different. So yeah.
Let me see. Let me see the others then. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Standard
So
deviation sample. Okay. Your largest and smallest count is 50. Yeah. Hmm, confident largest is smallest is 1 and 11. Okay. Where is the variance? Range is 10. Okay. So let me see the others. Have they got median and mode as 7, 7?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
same,
ma'am.
Yes.
same we are getting.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe it is not necessary. That means when you plot the same data, when I tell you how to do it, that means you will get a what? When mean, median, and mode are equal, you get a normal bell curve. Got it?
yeah.
So now these are skewed curves. Your data is,
Skewed.
data is not skewed because there are certain outliers also. All right?
Yeah.
Because when it is skewed, what happens? That means there are certain outliers. Okay? Will help you with more with this data. Okay. Anyone else who wants to show me the other one? Yeah. Who
I'll
is
share.
now showing? Preeti, you just showed or was it Yogesh?
No, I think it was Yogesh who showed. I can share
Yeah,
mine.
Preeti for the other one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it seen?
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So the mean for salary
This
is
is which
shown
one?
as,
Salary, right?
yeah,
Salary.
salary.
Okay.
It's 40K. Median is
Okay.
shown between
Indian is
41.5
41.
and 48.
Okay. Mode again is 48. Okay. So can you see if the mean is 40 and the mode is 48? So
Against
there are
Q.
outliers, right?
Yeah.
It is not a normal distribution. Okay.
Uh, range
Standard deviation is 10299. It's
10K.
high. So that means there
Yeah.
is range. Okay.
Range
Maximum,
is
minimum. What is the
41K.
range? Yeah.
Minimum,
41,000. So there's
yeah.
a big range. Hmm. That
Minimum
also
is
gives
16.
you,
Yeah, it's a used.
helps you to understand how the data is spread. Okay.
Yeah. And sum is salary is about
Total,
20
total cost.
lakhs. Yeah. Total salary cost is 20 lakhs. Count
Okay.
what we have done is for 50
Count.
people.
Yeah. So count is also represented as N,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. And your largest and
Min max. Yeah.
smallest. Okay. Min and max. Okay. Good. So does anybody else have any kind of doubts or need some clarifications as to how to do your descriptive statistics?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I have
Ramachandran?
doubt.
Hmm?
Ma'am, I have
Divya.
one question. Yeah. So I just want you to interpret for example certain these for example terminologies in terms of like what does that particular number will indicate in terms of kurtosis, in terms of variance, in terms of confidence level, so by getting those numbers, so what does it indicate, So I just you want to like interpret in terms of these activities,
Kurtosis, confidence level, okay,
Yeah.
skewness, all right. So when I help
Yeah.
you with actually plotting these figures and helping you to draw those curves, bell curves, and curves, then I will also help you to understand. For example, can I just show you?
So, ma'am, you will help us understanding the interpretation later. Is that other than this basic?
One second, not interpretations. You will be doing with the data, okay? Oh, 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody was wanting to know the kurtosis. We don't use much of this. So therefore, I just thought, a simple helping you to just understand. So can you see a data could be plotted? So if you look at my arrow indicator, one is looking like this, right? Huh? Oh, sorry. This one, huh? If I call this as 1, and this has 2, and this has 3. So which has the highest 1, 2, and 3? So there are 3 curves with the same data plotted. So which one has the highest steepness or skewness? Yeah, unmute
The
Preeti if you
first
want.
one.
Negative and positive.
This one, the third one, which is called the
Yeah.
positive kurtosis. That means
Okay.
your data is what?
Skewed.
Clustered together. That means there is not much of spread with this curve, and there is a huge, this is called the skewness. Okay. So this is a kurtosis. This is, very narrow. Now, this is your normal distribution where, this one, the second one, where you will see that it is not highly skewed, but it is spread what? Marginally. But if you look at the last one, this is absolutely, look at this bulge here, this bulge. So this kurtosis is typically meant for this bulge, this bulge here, this which is called as a negative kurtosis, as opposed to this one, which has a very narrow one. Okay. So I'm just showing you visually. This is a bulge and this becomes very narrow. Okay. So this is a positive kurtosis and this is a negative kurtosis. And kurtosis typically we don't use much in our data. So that is why I thought you don't have to now think so much about it. But yes, having said that, when you're going to look at more data and you're going to really work hands-on, then I will also show you when you're plotting your own data, then what is that kurtosis, what is the skewness. Okay.
Ma'am, here just wanted to check with you. These kurtosis generally will let us know that we need to deep dive because there is certain variance in which the data is there.
Preeti, not necessarily. The standard deviation will help you to know whether your curve is really very spread out, and are there any out. The more the spread out, that means there are outliers.
Right.
And also, if your curve is positively skewed or negatively skewed, then you also get to know where are the outliers.
Exactly.
Okay, like Yogesh wanted to know with more with data, we will do that with data as well. So that when you have certain amount of data, how will you know? Hey, because looking at your descriptive stats, you can easily make out whether there is a skew depending on what the median value is, what the mean value is, and also the mode value. If all of them are equal, then your data is actually a bell curve. That means normal distribution. If it is not, then it is asymmetrical. That means it is not normally distributed. For example, sometimes what you are actually having, in your performance appraisal rating, sometimes what you have more of this 4 and 5s. So in order to bring rationalization, in order to ensure that it is a normal curve, you'll say, hey, we need to actually reduce your 5s, limit your 5s to only 5% or 10%. Then you are forced to again 10%, but bring them to 3. Have you noticed that? Experienced it
Yeah.
in your performance management rankings to ensure that there is a normal distribution. Because what happens, unless and until there is a different philosophy, of course, in today's times, most of the organizations are not applying their bell curve or normal
Stringently.
curve
Yeah.
to your ratings because it does not motivate. Because, like, say, for example, in Microsoft or a Google or in the best of companies, you are already taking people who are really high pots performing very well, and then you want to put them into again a normal curve, saying that even if he has been ranked at 4 or 5, just because you want to force fit them, you want to pull them down, it demotivates. So therefore, absolutely, they have moved away from the normal curve of distribution, or what I call it as a bell curve or the Gaussian curve, so that people are not demotivated in the way they are rated. Okay. Guys, any
Uh,
questions? I think Rahul or somebody had a question.
Ma'am, I have a question,
Who is this? Yeah,
Yogesh.
Yogesh?
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me.
I'm just going
Hmm.
to present my screen. Just a quick question on this one.
Okay, let me just
So,
stop this.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
let me know if you can see my screen.
I can just make it a little bigger. I
Yeah, I'm
think this
just
is
going to
salary
do that.
data. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the rating data, performance rating. So I
Okay.
noticed, so the
Ah.
mean, median, and mode are very
Hmm.
close, right? That they are almost
Yeah.
same, right?
Ah.
Then why
Ah.
kurtosis is showing this much negative value? Why is it not showing the positive value then? Because these three value are same, so it should be on
These
the
three
positive side.
values are the same, but look at your range. So that means when you plot this, the data is not going to be, the skewness is minus. Yeah. So therefore, your data is really not dispersed much. When you plot the data on a curve, you will actually see that it is not spread.
Okay.
Because you see, this one, they're all on same. It's almost representing a bell curve. And if you see, the range is also 4. So there is some amount of variation in the sense that, there is dispersion, though the average is still 333, mean, median, mode. So it's a normal curve distribution.
But range
Okay?
will always remain this way, no, ma'am, because the lowest rating is 1 and the highest rating is 5. So difference will be 4.
Fine.
So the range
Yeah.
will always be 4. So because whosoever is, has this
No,
rating system.
maybe in hypothetical, say for example, you have just 4, just because it happens to be a performance rating where, you just have 1 to 4, right? Huh? You
Okay.
getting me?
Okay.
Because the range is only 1 to 5. But if you take something like, say, what I should say, salary, you will see there'll be a very different kind of a data coming in.
Yeah. It is more on the 0 side because the mean, no, this is
Okay.
for the,
And you will be able to see this very, very clearly when you plot the curve as well.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Okay. So let us take a very quick break. 10 minutes will do. Right now it is 11:51. So can we come back by 12:05?
Yeah. Sure.
Huh? 12:05?
Yeah.
Vilma, is that fine?
Yeah.
Before we leave, any questions on this descriptive stats? And definitely, if you have, because we will be having some kind of an assignment as well. So if you are stuck somewhere, please, you can reach out and you can get the clarifications. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So let's take a break and come back quickly. Okay. So can you see training programs, month, participants, duration? Okay. All this. Now, say if I were to look at, I want to find out what is the training cost and man hours per month. I have to go to the T&D database. Can you see the T&D database? Because I just changed over into that. Now, what do I do? How do I go about? I have to use a simple table called what? Pivot table. It is not a, I don't know, I'm sure some of you know, but it's very simple. Because you will have this data and you will do in groups. What do? Can you see this data? All that I need to do is, can you see, I have to go to this. I've selected, no? Have I selected the data? Now go to insert. Yes, just give me a thumbs up. Insert. Then take it to pivot. Then you say, now the entire data is selected. Now just say in new worksheet, I would actually have it in a new worksheet. Say, okay. What can you see? You can see what? You can work on a pivot now. These are the various fields. These are the fields which are there in your data sheet. Just give me a thumbs up. That's okay.
Yes.
Step 1, 2, 3. Very clear?
Yeah.
I'll do it again for you. No worry. Now, what do? What is the question? Anybody remembers?
Training cost.
Training cost and
man hours per month.
manpower, hours per month. So that means I need to first of all want to have month data. Have you got the month data now? Automatic? Can you see my months? Now, what do I need to do?
Training cost.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, I know that this is my grand total. This is the number of hours and this is the training cost. But if I have a visual, it will be much better. So what you can do, if you can see my screen, click on this. Can you see a pivot chart here?
Yep.
See, can you see?
Yes.
Yes. I will click on that now. Okay. Now, when I click on that, I can just take a column chart. I'm just showing you. I can just take a column chart. Huh? So when I take a column chart, what happens? I want you to see. Okay. What can you see here? You can only see the training cost, but I can't see the hours, total man hours. What will you do? You delete this. Click again. How will you do that? Pivot chart. So I've gone to this. Okay. But I want a combination. And I want clustered where I want to show the training cost as a line and the total man hours as a column. So I'll say, okay. Can I make it bigger? Are you able to see now?
Yep.
So it has captured both what? Training cost and man hours. So I want you all to do now. There is data given to you already. I want you all to capture this as a part of the operational analytics for this data, the T&D metrics 1, 2, 3. The attrition analysis, 1, 2, 3. The recruitment analysis, 1, 2. And the performance management analysis, high performer growth rate and average tenure. Done?
Yes.
Now just give me a thumbs down on what, please raise who wants to know again about pivot, who all know pivot. I can just help you once again doing another one. Just give me a you can raise your hand and tell me, ma'am, I want you to repeat it with another data. Nobody is saying anything. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. No question.
You want me to repeat one more data?
No, let us try.
No, I'll give you one more. Divya,
Okay.
are you very clear or you want me to help you with another one? Or Ramachandran? Anybody who wants me to do it again?
No.
Rahul?
Yes.
No, clear, ma'am. We can do.
Very clear, you can do it?
Yes.
I will just do one more so that I don't know. Okay. I will do this. Total trainings per month by category. Okay. This is your TND base. It's already highlighted. Then what do? Let me insert. Then I will go to pivot. Okay. Now tell me somebody, what will I do first?
So month code 1 rows.
Absolutely, because I need month. What did they ask for? Let me just see. Month by category. Okay.
Then training program on
1 second. See. Category. So, oh, I'm so sorry. Wait, I think I'm 1 second.
sheet 2.
Let me just. It was sheet 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were going to a month, and then we were looking at what? This
Training
one.
program.
Types of training.
Okay. Then we
No,
should put this
bring
into
it here.
column.
I'm sorry.
It will
1
be
second.
column.
No.
In
You have to
column
bring it here. Yeah. And count.
and count.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Now you want to do a chart. So what you do, I don't need the count. So, okay. Got it? Simple.
Yes.
You know, when you actually don't know the trick, so it's so simple, but we only get, overwhelmed sometimes, right? Yeah. So, Vilma,
Yeah.
so what I would like you all to do this and then put the graph, like for example, next to it. Okay. I'll just make it small. Yeah. And if you want, you can also use another sheet, cut both the things and create like a dashboard. Okay. It's very easy. Cut them, then paste it on a new sheet like a dashboard. Okay. Vilma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they can actually go.
Okay, so there are 2 rooms. Room 1 is Divya, Preeti, and Yogesh, and room 2 is Debashri, Nishant, Rahul, and Ramachandran.
Yeah, great. So one of you, please keep your presentation ready. So there are two groups, right? Who is going to present?
From room number 2, it's gonna be Debashri.
Who is going to present from room number 2?
Devashi here.
Okay. Okay.
I'll present.
Good. Let me just.
Is it visible?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Okay. This is on recruitment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
this is attrition. This is attrition.
Let me see. 1 second. Regrettable and total. Regrettable. Okay. Okay. Good to go. This is average tenure. Okay. Okay.
And this is
Yeah.
recruitment.
All right. Okay. Mode of recruitment. Done. Very good.
And this one is the combo.
Okay. From the sources in the departments, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the performance summary.
Okay. Okay. Average tenure. And all right. Okay. So you haven't done in performance 1, right?
No, yes, one I
That the other group is also presenting. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Great. Good work done by this group. Devashri and who all were there? Nishant. Huh?
Rahul, Nishant.
Yes, ma'am.
Nishant. Then Ramachandran. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So the other group.
Yeah. I'm going to present my
Who's
screen.
going to present? Okay.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
So this is training data,
Okay. Good.
and then
The
internal
other
external.
group, did they show the pie chart with the percentage, internal, external? Okay.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. So typically it would be better, when there are 2 types of training, you could use a pie chart where you can actually show, percentage in that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then coming to attrition.
Attrition.
So this is
Okay.
unit wise,
Column lab.
and then this is department wise, function wise,
Okay.
and then this is reason wise, average tenure.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then coming to the recruitment, then source,
Very good. Very good.
and then source and average tenure.
Source and tenure. And this is department with
And the
number.
tenure,
Okay. Tenure.
average tenure. And then we were working on this one, the performance here, but I don't know how come it is showing the same, but I will be working on that one.
Okay, fine.
We have prepared
Okay.
that. The growth.
Okay.
It. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Excellent. I think all of you have done a very good job. And I hope all of you got a hang of now how to do operational analytics. Typically, you can use pivot. You can then use what is it? Descriptive statistics and get a sense of the data. Okay. In our next session, what we will be doing is the balance scorecard, which is also a measurement tool. And how do you link it? How do you align HR with the strategy? Okay, where we will be learning how to track or how to identify key metrics. So I would recommend 1 or 2 of you to get or write down your vision statement, mission statement, so that when we are actually doing an exercise on balance scorecard, you can use your own company's mission statements. Okay, guys? Okay,
Yes,
any
ma'am.
questions?
Yes, ma'am.
So that, any questions? If you have any questions, please, you can, you have a WhatsApp group. You can always text them there. And then we can, in the first thing we'll do in the next session is then clarify all the doubts. Okay?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
I think this would be a good way of learning and also having the doubts clarified, because it takes some time to get, what is that I have not understood when you begin to think and do on things on your own. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Wonderful to have you all. Take care.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank
Good
you, ma'am.
work
Very
done
much.
by
Thank you,
all
ma'am.
of you. Huh? Okay.
Thank you,
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. You have the assignment 1. which you can check out in the LMS, which is again a repeat of what you have done today in the class. So you will get a more deeper insight once you practice it. So please go through it and complete that. Okay.
Sure.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you,
Okay,
bye.
thank you.
Please
Bye.
read the
Bye.
balance scorecard before you come. So you'll have much more clarity tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Have a
Okay.
great
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.